This is an awful name that I think I only got to see like once. Nope, twice pop up. So I'm glad to see it again. Lord Stonefish. Yes, the last one we had from Lord Stonefish was 2432. 2432, which I believe is the... Yes, it's the hotel that is like really shitty, but for some reason you like really think it's great. I think it's a specific room though in the hotel, not the entirety of the hotel. Like it's like you call room service and it's like really, it's just really horrible. But for some reason you go out of the hotel like, man, this hotel was great. I am the Arctic Fox. Welcome to the Fluff, my man. Welcome. Button mash is my specialty, lol. I know zero. I'm talking more about like tactical button mash, not like in fighting games. You know, like how in some Mario Party games you have to like really quickly button mash. That what hotel is? Yes, I remember that one exactly. That will come out on my channel in like in a month, in a month and a half. I'm good at that one too. There you go. You can be proud of yourself. Okay, Lord Stonefish. That was the last one you wrote, and this one is called Sausages. Well, let's see what this is all about. And this is the one that my friend Howard did say. Let me see what he said here again. There's no additional tales, but SCP-2653 is apparently the beginning of an entire storyline that has a hub. No need to read it though, which I can see down here. That is the case. So let's see. It's not. We have a lot of saves today. Steph, last time we had a bunch of SCP that took place in the US, and today we have a lot of whisper for 10 minutes. Are you fucking kidding me? And today we have a lot of SCPs that are safe. All right, you want me to fucking whisper? I understand. I should read it. I should really take that away for like SCP stuff, because like even though I talk the most doing SCP stuff, it's the most strenuous when it comes to any of the streams to do that stuff. Okay, here we go. Maximum 10 minutes start now. Safe. Special containment procedures. All instances of SCP-2653 are to be locked inside 11's anomalous items storage locker. No personnel are to be allowed to consume all instances of SCP-2653. All subjects who have consumed SCP-2653 in the proper manner are to be contained in standard humanoid containment cells at Site 11. No subjects are to be exposed to any media or information related to the following: the ongoing Syrian civil war, Hungary, current Prime Minister of Hungary Viktor Orban, the ongoing European migrant crisis, political refugees in general, and feet. All personnel interacting with subjects are to keep their feet covered at all times, and no riding implements of any kind are to be brought into the cells. SCP-2653 are 23 identical packs of exactly 6 Italian hot sausage links, each labeled as Bashar al-Assad delicious notorious meat product for families. Each individual sausage is of non-anomalous composition and is identical to a normal Italian hot sausage link. Packaging on each pack is in a Creole of Hungarian and English, and describes SCP-2653 as having been manufactured by the Hormel Foods Corporation. Each pack features testimonials on the product's reliability from Al-Assad, as well as American comedian Bob Odenkirk, Indian composer and singer Bobby Lahiri, and French lawyer and politician Marine Le Pen. Well, it doesn't take place in the US, but there's still an American that has somehow their finger involved in all this. The sausage finger. If an instance of SCP-2653 is consumed inside of a standard hot dog bun, the subject will experience multiple major psychological changes, including of course we do. Identification with an extreme far-right political affiliation, regardless of previous preferences, obsession with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. I mean, to be fair, if I recall correctly, Hungary is supposed to be far-right, because they were one of the countries that were happy about Trump. Same with Serbia. Which I was like, of course, makes sense. The corrupted political sides are in favor of Trump, of course. Compulsion to draw the shape of Hungary on any available flat surface. Tendency to become unusually angry when discussing the conflict in Syria. Belief that all refugees of the Syrian civil war have a desire to destroy the sausage manufacturing industry in Europe. One is like so real. Two aspects of it is like so real, and then we have the whole like they're trying to destroy our sausage factory, okay? That is like straight up like conspiracy theory ready like talk. Like it's like, you know, believe me, they're aiming for the sausage factory. That's the whole reason they're having a war with us. Perception that all bare feet are cooked. What? Perception that all bare feet are cooked Italian sausages. Subject will express a desire to slice off any bare feet seen and consume them, though they do not act on this desire. I mean, isn't it, Steph? Don't they say dogs, like the letting the dogs out when they talk about bare feet in the U.S.? And isn't like hot dog? Don't they also like shorten it to like dogs? So I think that's why it's connected, maybe. Man. Well, I'm barefoot right now. I say that and something like the door like bursts open and someone's like, "Give me them toes." Tendencies to become withdrawn when discussing the feet of people of Middle Eastern descent. Tends to become extroverted when discussing the feet of Victor Orban. We also call tall. Yeah, piggies. We called them. I'm more aware of because like it was like this little piggy went to the market. This little piggy, yeah. Which I believe sausages are made out of pig intestines. So yeah. Perception that all meat used in sausage manufacturing originates from Middle Eastern refugees. Wait. Perception that all meat used in sausage manufacturing originates from Middle Eastern refugees. What does that sentence mean? Like, these sausages are made by Middle Eastern refugees, or the sausages are made of Middle Eastern refugees? Like, I think like they took the refugees and made them into hot dogs. We are weirdos over here, man. Probably off. I mean, tell me about it. Like, I only get to know about you guys' shenanigans through like social media, and sometimes I just get so tired. I'm just like, my god, how does this even happen? SCP-2653 was recovered from the meat department at a Walmart near Plainview, Wisconsin. We're back in the US. According to the store employees, there's no record of SCP-2653 having been delivered to the store, and 7 packages of SCP-2657 had already been sold. Residents of Plainview who had consumed these packages of SCP-2653 constitute the subjects currently in containment, the majority of which had a little or no knowledge of European politics prior to consumption of SCP-2653. Amnestics has been ineffective in suppressing the effects. That's the problem. Addendum, testimony from comedian Bob Odenkirk found on SCP-2653 packs. Odenkirk was interviewed and found to have no awareness of the existence of SCP-2653. Class B amnestics were administered. Sausages are dogs, weenies, hot dogs, and franks. We just say Wurst. Sausage, Wurst in German. I don't think we have like a we do say hot dog, but I don't think we have a specific. I don't think we have like any like nicknames for the hot dogs in Switzerland or in German. Brat. Well, my family does because we're German. Oh, hey. Yeah, Bratwurst, which means to like. It's not. Braten is not like fully like cooking. It's like it's almost like pan grilling it. You know what I mean? like oil and then just sizzle. I wish I could pronounce it that nice, but yeah. So yeah, that's where the name Bratwurst comes from, because like it's supposed to be like braten is like almost like a grilling technique in German, and that specific Bratwurst is usually the one that you use for that. Finally, sausages I can really enjoy. These renowned babies really allowed me to crank out those comedian sermons for the Netflix temple. Isn't them? We will stamp out the intolerant left. Those Syrian Sedesek. Oh, so he's like starting to like say like Hungarian words. Cannot stop the march of the Kielbasa. We want to reinstate Orban to power. Watch my Comedia sermons to know more about what you can do. Join the cause, a Baratom. If you do, you get to eat these sausages all day. And then we have the, it was like next the news tonight, Wednesday, April 26th, 2017. And I believe this is like a whole story. I'm not sure how long this will go on. It does seem, well, that's quite a lot. Yeah, because like, how would it say? Yeah, see, this is like all connected. Chapter 1 and chapter 2. It's like a whole like tale. I think we can read this. These are short enough. Wade Wilson, what is this? I think this one is the only one we don't need to read. But I think the other ones we can quickly read through because they're not extremely long. And also we have a way shorter read today anyway. Instead of yesterday where we had 22,000 words, we only have 10,000 words today. So might as well dive into the tales of the sausages. 10 minutes have passed. So I can now speak normally. It's the only one I eat. I don't eat hot dogs because the texture is foul, can't be trusted. I also enjoy bratwurst, which my dad has a German friend brought to Sweden as a gift. To be fair, like I don't mind hot dogs, but I prefer them in the Swiss bread that we use, which is a Bürli. It's like the bread itself is like has like a nice crunch, like nice crispy out the side, and it's of course very soft inside. So that is the way I used to hot dogs. We basically have like what is Blutwurst? Blutwurst is basically a sausage that's made out of like, I think it's like cooked in blood of the animal, while like containing like it basically like it's like yeah, and like a lot of like different intestinal combination. Because Blut is blood in German. But yes, the bread is like kind of like it's kind of like a thicker baguette, and we break it off, and then we make a hole in it, put the sausage in it, and we fill that. Of course, we fill the hole with like mustard and ketchup. Put the sausage into it, and then just first you eat the little sausage that's poking out on top, and then you eat it with the bread, and the bread is nice and crunchy. So yeah, okay, let's read the news tonight, Wednesday, April 26th, 2017. Hello and welcome to tonight's news. Broadcasting live from New York Complex. Wait, New York. I used to have a good New York accent. I don't have it anymore. I'm Junior A. Mac Roger Kaladi, official newsreader, scholar of the Church of the Second Night Off, the only sanctioned radio host broadcasting both English and Northerton nationwide. The top story this evening concerns the ongoing war in the Midwest against the Indo-Franco-Hungarian alliance. Many of our top soldiers gave their lives in this evening, passing on their blood to Rakhmur Loisan so that he may receive our blood and hold us against these wretched Vortut who attack our borders. Praise be to Rakhmur Loisan, the origami soldiers shredded paper with grace torn about by the flesh and teeth of the Vortoid. The battle raised the town of Blue Earth, Minnesota, and Minister Ellison Killian is authorized. I wonder what this leads to. Okay. It's authorized to new aid workers to tend to surviving civilians. It has been suspected that the It has been suspected that the Alliance have been distributing propaganda sausages to civilians within the region, trying to turn and twist their minds until there was no empathy left. To get them from the reinstated Prime Minister open to power. Unfortunately, no sausages were found in the aftermath of the battle, and the psychology of all has been proven pure. The same cannot be said for Plainview, Wisconsin. The official Alliance news agency in Budapest has confirmed that they have pushed the borders of the empire there, as the distribution was successful in turning all the citizens. Steaks laced with, pardon me, steaks laced with samples of the blood of Causes Bashas were delivered to the next morning, and we are sad to report all noble churchgoers were converted to votude. Has been reported by my reporters in the field that several votude and Orin privates found at the battlefield were genetic matches for the citizenry of Plainview. In other news, Navy SEAL Origami have begun filtering sympathetic refugees out of Syria and into Ottoman Europe as the final descent on Kythera begins. Oh, that's far away. All rituals performed in the area have made significant progress towards the devastation of that unholy place. Finally, the aspect of Konok will fill the Middle East again as our trained soldiers continue to assault the very heart of that one place. Praise Rakhmur Lurusan, may he shine forever. Defense Ministry Molinsky, on the other hand, condemns the measure, citing vast accomplishments made between church faces and the Alliance in the Pacific territories in the wake of the Great Beast's escape from the Foundation facilities. Molinsky met with senior researcher Obrov in Paris yesterday. I want to eat sausages now for value. Oh no, I'm eating people I don't like. I have to do so according to law. I'll taste bad. I'm saying. A rogue band of bandits and terrorists waged war on the Philadelphia complex yesterday. Two statues of Rakhmur Lusan on the Market Street. All good and pious citizens were outraged at the sad turn of events, which led to the destruction of yet another temple complex. Many citizens report the invasion of Dream Demons. Four of the terrorists claimed allegiance to the former organization known as the Global Occult Coalition. Hey, we had them. That was also a specific group of people that we get to hear a lot. One was about the official Foundation science license to the Alliance are calling an SK bioorganism, but to us is obviously nothing more than a filthy fortitude. Curse the hypocritical Foundation and the wretched empire of Cassis Bashas. May their children burn their own souls within the genitals of their parents. May their dogs impale themselves on a spike. May their... Dr. Obrov sighed and turned the device off. Another day, another radio broadcast from a battery crazy universe. And this one concerned him too. In that place, he was a senior researcher for some sort of totalitarian Sarkic empire. Oh joy. He walked the length of the giant computer and grabbed his USB stick from his low port. He would have to spend a good 12-15 hours just writing up the reports of this broadcast. He didn't even need to listen to the whole thing at the time to get the gist. His coffee was cold, so he grabbed it and quickly plodded to his office to nuke it in the microwave. He'd been drinking nuked coffee for 5 years now, most of it recycled and re-microwaved endlessly. And when he was not doing that, he was writing up detailed reports of the broadcast he received so the guys up in Fluff's pit could decide to send the Bailey brothers. This particular one proved to be a cinch. But put simply, there was a war between GOY 03088, those high-tough nuts, and a big fat Sarkic alliance which has absorbed most of Europe, Asia, and West North America. Dr. Obrov regularly wondered why no one ever talked about Africa when these sorts of things happened. There's always some group sitting around in Eurasia that tried to stir up trouble. You couldn't at all name a single GOY from Gabon or Zimbabwe or anything like that. Yeah, not many SCPs in or group of interest in those places. What in the flying fuck was Site 87 want with these hello? He thought as he typed miserably. There's no diplomatic value. His coffee tasted even more bitter than usual. He felt another caffeine headache come on, but he slugged some more of the wretched stuff. The words on the page started to swim. He rubbed his eyes and turned to look at the clock, wondering exactly how long he had been awake. Bad move. His headache stabbed ferociously, suddenly getting worse. It was getting difficult to breathe. He wiggled his tongue experimentally. All of his teeth fell loose. His abdomen suddenly cramped like a black hole had opened up in his bowels and was causing him to implode. He clutched his stomach miserably, hoping it would help, but he just vomited all over his desk, shorting out his computer terminal and ruining his papers. It was near impossible to draw a breath now, and he was choking on his vomit. His eyes rolled back in his head. Dr. Obrov was dead before he fell onto the floor. Blood formed a wide pool around his head his head before anyone found him. To be continued. And if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Pro-Fros was mentioned here as well somewhere, right? Let me see. Oh, never mind. That's the only name that's not being mentioned. Yeah, okay. That was to be continued. A trailer. So serious. 5 seconds in. Darkness. Short, gasping breaths. Close up on Dr. Obro's flickering eyes. They snap open. 6 to 8 seconds. Dr. Obro stands rigid next to his bed, looking at his sleeping wife. It's dark outside. 9 to 12 seconds. Erin storms into the office of Ellie, her superior. She slams a black and white photograph of a group of men and women down on the table. 13 to 20 seconds. Pan down. A row of battle-weary soldiers standing in a muddy trench. They are dressed in filthy cleric uniforms holding rifles. A giant sentient piece of origami stands behind them, cocking its head. Voiceover, an old man. So, from what we can see, he was killed right before starting his work. 21 to 25 seconds. Dr. Obroff is making coffee in his neat, bare kitchen. Then he is driving along a dark highway in a truck looking intense. 27 to 31 seconds. The truck pulls off down a dirt road surrounding it by a fence. A sign warns of trespassing on private land. Voiceover old man. Not that it matters now. 28 to 31 seconds. Erin jabs a man in the photograph. She says, "Now I want an explanation." 2 to 34 seconds. Ellie photographing SB-173. 173 is one of the OG SCPs, by the way. Steph. It's the statue that breaks your neck when you blink. Or look away. It's one of the very first SCP that has been written. Oh goodness. Yeah. Oh goodness is indeed correct. 35 to 36 seconds. A gloved hand slips a pill in a percolator. 37 to 43 seconds. Diana Oliver hurries through a church of the second Hattoff office, panting. She carries papers in her arms. Voice over Erin. If this is him in the photo, then he would have been 80 at the time of his death. 44 to 47 seconds. Something heavy and just out of view drags itself around a containment chamber. A canine howl. 48 to 50 seconds. Dr. Obroff, USB stick in hand, grabs a cup of lukewarm coffee before returning to his desk. 51 to 52 seconds. Camera flash. 53 to 55. Close up of Dr. Obroff's lips as he takes a sip. 56 to 57 seconds. A second camera flash. 58 to 1 minute 7 seconds. A crowd foundation investigators crowd around Dr. Obroff's corpse. Voice over old man. So it was cyanide poisoning, was it? Oh, okay. So the thing that killed him was cyanide poisoning. Wait, is that why the teeth fell loose? Because you know how like sometimes like you will replace a tooth with a cyanide pill and that will be like loose, so you can flick with your tongue and then crack it open. So is that why like, but somehow all of his teeth fell loose? It said here, so maybe like something magically exchanged his teeth with cyanide pills. I'm just like speculating. 1 minute to 1 minute 8 seconds to 1 minute 15 seconds. Diana is praying. Voice over a younger man. Yes, but who cares? He was a non-entity. Is that a thing? What do you mean? The cyanide pills? Or like all his teeth being replaced. 1 minute 16 seconds to 1 minute 20 seconds. Member of Mobile Task Force Psi 9 burst in on a psychic mass orgy. Distant laughter. Voice over the young man again. Nothing matters. The cyanide teeth. I've never heard of that. Well, it's like what agents used to do, you know, like military, like high military people who have a lot of knowledge. They would have like one teeth replaced with a cyanide pill. So if they ever became hostages, they would just punch it open and die. It was like a way of like basically not being a prisoner of war or a hostage. 1 minute 21 seconds to 1 minute 26. Ellie, Erin, and a Japanese doctor are setting up an experimental camera in the field. The laughter builds. 1 minute 27 seconds to 1 minute 31 seconds. Dr. Ober's wife is sitting in a room, weeping violently. The wall drips blood. The laughter gets louder. Okay, I'm not gonna say it in a minute anymore. Researcher looks through glass at some sort of wounded animal. The laughter gets more manic. Aaron stands in the suburban kitchen, slowly turning to look at an air conditioner. The air conditioner switches. The laughter is now loud, whooping, and completely deranged. Continuing laughter, building on fire. Continuing laughter, doctor peeling off his face. Continuing laughter, barefoot steps on the concrete. Continuing laughter, a man in an orange jumpsuit chained to a chair in a concrete room, watching something on the television. I'm pretty sure these are all like other anomalies. Laughter builds to an insane peak. A camera lens in close up, filming something that is not meant to see. SB2006 in its robot man form jumps out from behind a door. It says boo. Cut to black. Panel slowly fades in the undo. Voice over Ellie. You can see the outline of it now, can't you? Something lurking at the edges. He tried to unmake himself, you see? Cut to Ellie entering her house. She turns and sees Director Van Turner standing in the shadows. He flashes a brilliant smile, his eyes hidden. Ellie screams in absolute terror and trailer. Interesting. And now, this one, last one of the tales. Howard did say we didn't need to read them, but I felt like reading them, and again, we have a shorter read today anyway, so might as well have some like extra stuff. Out of frame, Van Turner looked at his watch. Before him, 13 monitors were blank, each serving to reflect his visage back. Within each, he saw himself frown. He wondered if there was a place in which at least one of those reflections smiled. One by one, the monitors flickered to life. On each, a Roman numeral appeared. 1 through 13. The organization 13, of course! The director adjusted his tie and took a sip of water before clearing his throat. You may begin. Wait, you may begin when ready, Director. A woman's voice sounded from monitor 3. Oh, is it the O5s? Because the O5s also has 13 members. Thank you, Van Turner replied. I appreciate each of you taking this time to hear me out. I'm glad you are quite busy, but by now you should have received my updated proposal. The anomalous item storage warehouse at large facilities like Site 19 or Site 77 were in massive, huge rooms reminiscent of the final scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, filled floor to ceiling with the most mundane anomalies the rank and file field agents managed to stumble upon across centuries of investigation. It was now up to the Department of Photography to go through and update the photos from all of them. Or at least that was supposed to be the task at hand. The gunman who chased photographer Joseph Goldman through a particular poorly lit, winding, and notably abandoned section of that Covenant space seemed to have other plans. Turning a corner, the portly man threw down a series of boxes behind him, panting as he continued his sprint. The sound of a carnival filled the space as the lid of one of the boxes fell off and spilled its contents. Where the hell is an exit? Joseph said to himself, peering over his shoulder as the gunman stepped over the box and gingerly brushed some confetti from his lapel. Security! Security! I've heard some far-fetched suggestions in my time, Monitor 9 spoke. A few of them recommend slashing almost 75% of the personnel from an entire Foundation department, Director Van Turner. You are aware of how institutional the Department of Photography is to an organization wholly dependent on accurate documentation, yes? The notion did not escape me, Van Turner chuckled. But time changes, friends. There are fewer horses in the world today than there were in 1901. As the world evolved then to accommodate the automobile, so too must we evolve to the changing realities of our database. By and far, the vast majority of entries in our database do not contain photos of the anomalies contained therein. I'd argue over half of those that do will not be hindered by the removal of those images. Hey, that's true. A lot of the logs don't have photos anymore. To what end, Director? Monitor 2 asked. Van Turner smiled. Security, of course. Need I remind you of incident 423-26, or perhaps 4560-12? Time and time again, use of photography in our documentation has served as a vector of a containment breach. To be blunt, lives are lost. With my proposed restructuring of the Department of Photography, we seek to bring that number down to 0. You're kidding me? Wait, you got to be kidding me. Sorry. Even though I love Epic Rap Battles, it's the most distracting songs when it comes to like reading strings. Joseph stared at the dead end before him. 3 tall shelving units, all covered with boxes and cases surrounding him, cutting his less than direct route to a less hostile part of the facility short. He looked over his shoulder once more. The gunman was rounding the corner, raising his silenced pistol as he took aim at the sitting duck. Joseph turned and raised his camera's view van into his eye. With whatever respect is due, Director, your proposal would seem to be of dubious benefit at best and self-sabotage at worst, Monitor X sighed. In our line of work, accurate photographic documentation is crucial. Handicapping the individuals tasked with the burden would serve our large mission poorly. To the Foundation, a picture is often worth well more than 1,000 words. I'm sorry you see it that way, Antonio replied. I think we have debated this enough, Monitor 3 chimed in. It's time we put it to a vote. So it's definitely the O5s. The remains of Joseph Goldman bled out on the concrete floor, several bullets having passed through his torso and embedded in the boxes behind him. His camera lens had shattered in the fall of a mosaic of shattered glass spreading out from the point of impact. The gunman quietly removed the camera SD card and replaced it with one of his own before gently pulling the camera back where it had landed. With a satisfied nod, the gunman reached into the pack on his back and placed a small standard issue Foundation anomalous item storage box on the ground near Joseph's body, carefully ensuring it was tipped over in an inconspicuous manner, such that the contents were allowed to spill out and appear scattered. The contents in question was a set of 13 quartz carvings of knights on horseback. The gunman then stepped back and took out a small flashlight, ensuring it was angled just so that the light would bounce off one of the carvings and onto Joseph's hand. There was a soft click and a low buzz, and then the sound of sand running through a sieve. The remains of Joseph Goldman had been turned into solid quartz. Even the pool of blood that had slowly deepened around the portly corpse metamorphosed into so much sand. With yet another satisfied nod, the gunman took out a phone and typed in a message: "Mission accomplished." One by monitor 1 to 13 turned off. Once more, Ventura was left to the company of the image of himself 13 times over, each one wearing the same disappointed smile. 5 against 8, he sighed, more than the last time. We'll whittle him down, just have to keep trying. The actor felt a little buzz in his pocket and silently pulled out his phone. Mission accomplished. Until his smile turned into a smirk. Just have to keep trying. So, of course, that has nothing to do with the SP itself. The first tale did, with the Dr. Obrov, but I was just curious what this whole story was about. But yeah, I can see how it was like saying like, oh, you don't really need to read it, but I did have a good time though. It is very interesting at the end. But yeah, keep your feet safe, people, because some people might think they're sausages.